Explosive allegations from the former interim head of the Democratic National Committee, Donna Brazile, in a forthcoming book, says the system was rigged just like Bernie Sanders said. She charges that an unethical agreement was signed between Clinton's campaign and the DNC to keep the party afloat financially. She writes, the agreement specified that in exchange for raising money and investing in the DNC, Hillary would control the party's finances, strategy, and all the money raised. Brazile also writes that she promised Bernie Sanders that as head of the DNC, she would investigate allegations that the party's nomination process was rigged against him. And here's a quote. She said, I had to keep my promise to Bernie. I was in agony as I dialed him. Hello, Senator. I've completed my review of the DNC, and I did find the cancer, I said, but I will not kill the patient, end quote. So I want to talk about this now with CNN political commentator Scott Jennings, Nina Turner, and Hillary Rosen. Good evening to all of you. Nina, you worked for the Bernie Sanders campaign. What's your reaction to this news?
Well, it's stunning, Don, not surprising, because I and others from the Bernie world, from Senator Sanders' campaign, was saying that something was wrong all along. But take no great pleasure in this. You know, the fact that you have someone like Donna Brazile, who was the first African-American woman to run a national campaign, a presidential campaign, ran Vice President Al Gore's campaign, 30-year relationship with the DNC and also the Clintons. And whether people agree with what she's done professionally in her life at certain points, the fact that she is pointing this out means that this is serious and that there is absolutely a crisis in the city. And this is not just about an emotional crisis between the Sanders camp and the Clintons camp, but this is really about the economics and the revelation that one campaign, the Clinton campaign, was able to control all of the economics within the DNC, and furthermore, not just even control it, but she also reflected on the fact that the DNC has been suffocated for the last 8 years. We don't just lose 11,000 candidates for no reason. And so this is not just about the Bernie side or the Clinton side, but this is about the people who have been let down, knowing that this has been going on for a long time.
So here's what's interesting. When I heard it, I said, first I was like, is that really a big revelation? Didn't we talk about this during the campaign? And didn't everybody come to a determination that the DNC did skew towards Hillary Clinton? And in her book, she said the DNC, she was surprised the DNC had no money. It had no data operation. She had to pour money into the DNC. Are Hillary Clinton and Donna Brazile basically saying the same thing but using different words?
Yes, they are.
Go ahead.
Well, first of all, I have to just say, for Democrats to spend a second relitigating this primary fight could not be, stupider. I don't think Democrats across the country want to talk about this.
But it doesn't change the fact that it happened. I mean, Donna Brazile said it was difficult to learn, but it's not illegal, by the way. But go on.
Let me just say, when you have the conversation we just had 5 minutes ago about this tax bill and where this country is going, that's what Democrats need to focus on, is how we're going to help working people going forward. If we're going to take Donna at her word, then you have to read the whole excerpt, because what the excerpt said is Hillary Clinton bailed out the DNC financially and controlled the staffing of the DNC. But Donna also said in that excerpt, Nina and Don, that she went door to door at the DNC and could not find a single shred of evidence that the actual results of the primary were tilted one way or another. And so if we're going to comment on the book, we ought to go all the way and say that actually Donna said that she found no proof and no evidence at all that the system was rigged. She just said that Hillary Clinton's money was holding up the DNC, and she found that overwhelmingly offensive. Bernie Sanders didn't contribute money to the DNC. That did not change the results of any election.
By fundraising, I mean, since you want to go there, this is really about a DNC that lacks accountability and transparency, period. Yeah, and we can deal with more than one thing at a time.
That's not about rigging an election.
We have to restore the faith and credibility of the Democratic Party, and statements like you're making doesn't help. People are hurt by this revelation, and this does not help. So to cover it up doesn't help. So don't go there with that. The fact of the matter remains is that the way that system was conducted, the DNC did not follow its own bylaws. And so if we're going to have some truth talk here, let's talk about reform, and let's talk about unity. But we got to talk about reform.
Scott,
But
you're sitting there and you're...
Wait. Let me respond because she just characterized what I said differently. I am all for reform and transparency, 100%. I have been all along. What I will object to till the day we go out is that the voters in the primary chose Hillary Clinton, not Bernie Sanders, and that had nothing to do with any staff person at the DNC. And let's just move on and not keep relitigating this fight. Let's do what we need to do for Democrats together.
Hillary, that kind of sounds like the Russia argument that the Republicans are using on the other side. And saying
no, it
we
doesn't.
shouldn't.
I'm just saying what Donna said is the truth.
Okay. Scott, I know you want to get in here, but just before you respond, here's a counterpoint here. The Sanders campaign signed the exact same agreement that the Clinton campaign signed, which is the same agreement that the Obama campaign signed. Clinton fundraised with the DNC, gave them the financial lifeline they needed, but Sanders didn't raise money for the party. So was it rigged if both candidates signed the same agreement?
But okay, go ahead. I'm gonna let him go. Go ahead.
Look, I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud on national television. I'm going to stand up for Hillary Clinton a little bit here and just say that it is amazing to me what no one's pointing out, that the President of the United States at the time, Barack Obama, had left his Democrat National Committee in such a shambles that not only was Hillary Clinton having to fight off Bernie Sanders, but she knew that if she were to get the nomination, she had to simultaneously bail out the DNC so it could be a viable entity for the general election. And this really, to me, falls at the feet of Barack Obama, whose path of destruction through the Democratic Party for 8 years is completed by these Brazil revelations. And I have to also say, Don, I cannot stop laughing that the Democrats are self-immolating and fighting amongst themselves a mere handful of days before the Virginia gubernatorial race. They're doing it nationally. The Democrats in Virginia are eating each other alive today over Northam. This is amazing. Republicans are laughing hard today.
Well, and the criticism that Democrats will tell you off camera, because we often talk about what Republicans will say off camera, but they won't say on television. Democrats will tell you that they believe Barack Obama didn't leave any room for anybody else in the party. That's why the bench is so weak right now, because it was Barack Obama's party, much as it's Donald Trump's party, the Republican Party right now. But here's my question. I have to go to the break, but many people say that Bernie Sanders wasn't a real Democrat, that he was not really a Democrat. And so that's why he may not have gotten the support of the DNC. I'll ask Nina about that.
I don't think that matters.
I'll wait till we come back. We'll be right back. All right, I'm back with my panel. Nina, you want to respond to what I said, that Bernie Sanders wasn't really a Democrat, that he ran for Senate as an independent, he voted as an independent socialist, not really part of the Democratic Party, and now he expects the party to get behind him for when he runs for president?
Well, Don, come on, what is it going to take? I mean, Senator Sanders caucuses with the Democrats. Senator Schumer and others of his colleagues in the U.S. Senate have given him a leadership role to be out there for Democrats. What does it mean? Is it simply about having a D behind your name, or is it standing up for the people in this country who are suffering? You know, I've traveled the last 60 days to 12 states in this country, talking to the people on the ground, and they are hurt. So this is really about restoring the faith in American democracy, whether you're Democrat or Republican. And I just reject people saying it's not the time. When is it going to be the time to have some transparency and some accountability in this country coming from both political parties? And we cannot continue to brush this under the rug. We have to be big enough back people to this party. But just this blanket, it is not the time, it's not going to work.
Hillary, what do you say to that? And is it about having a D behind your name?
Well, first of all, since that time, there have been a significant number of reforms that the DNC has instituted that ought to be recognized. And whether or not they're getting well enough communicated is, you know, is a good question. Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders over the last couple of months have been very focused on where this country is going, the kind of leadership that we have that is destroying us, and that is where we have to have our priorities. The inner workings of the DNC is not really that important to people. Let the DNC get their act together. Let them live with these new reforms, but Democrats have to stand as Americans have to stand and focus on the real threats that we're facing right now from the current leadership in this country.
I tell you what, though, Scott, you don't get a chance to talk.
I disagree. It is
over. The segment is over. I'm sorry. Listen, this
I got like a great 10-second line. I've got like 100 of them.
Okay, you're going to get me in trouble, but go ahead. What do you want to say? Do you want to have a final word?
You know what I love about Democrats right now? None of them can accept the results of these elections. Hillary Clinton this week can't accept still that Trump beat her. Sanders still can't accept that Clinton beat him. It's like there's a whole circular firing squad.
This
of
has
people
nothing
who
to do
can't
with those
accept
two
multiple
candidates.
Oh, boy.
This has
That's why I
nothing to do
wanted
with
to end
those
it.
two
I
candidates.
tell you what, though.
Donald
it's
Trump
gonna
is
make,
obsessed
I'll tell
with
you what,
Hillary Clinton. Donald
This is
Trump is
about the
obsessed
people.
with Hillary Clinton.
I
Come
am
on.
going to
Let's-
read.
Making it
That's
about
hysterical.
two candidates when it should be about the people.
I'm going to read
That's the
Donna Brazil's
problem.
book because it's going to it makes it all interesting, and it's good for book sales, I'm sure. Thank you all. I appreciate it. See you next time. This is CNN Tonight. I'm Don Lemon.